So one of the coolest things that I do on Procreate, I think, is make album covers. And I made a very cool one today, and I recorded it, and I want to show you the process of what it took. Now, about 90% of it, I'd say, was made in Procreate, but I did use other apps. Like I used an app called Snapseed, and I used Adobe Illustrator to create the 3D text. But all those other things are pretty simple to do, but you got to use a combination of those things to make really good results for an album cover. But I would say it's still a Procreate tutorial. So I just want to show you the steps of what it took to create this album cover. Let's get started.
Okay, first, open up the Procreate app. Click the plus symbol in the right hand corner, and we're going to create an album cover. The size dimensions should be 3000 by 3000, 300 DPI. That is what most distributors want. That will create the perfect album cover size. I'm just going to import in my client's photographs that they want to use for the cover art. We're just going to speed this up a little bit. As you can see, the edges are a little messed up, so I'm going to correct that. The way I chose to do that, let's put a white background behind it. And blend it with the top layer. And then take a soft airbrush and erase all the white outlines around the image. You want to really get a clean outline of your subject. It really makes the difference when you take the time to do it properly, you know? And like I said, the soft airbrush is the best option for erasing the white lines around the subject and erasing the subject from the background. Now let me import the second client picture, because this has a feature on this song. Now on this one, there's little hairs. So I took the liner brush and drew them in the layer up under it. And I'll take the blur and turn it up just a little bit. And make it match up the hair perfectly. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask below. And this is probably the most time-consuming part of the whole thing, I feel like. Like I said, you want to really make sure you get a good erase of your image. You see how I did that? I just drew around it. Let's see how it matches up. Just color pick it. And now we're going to make them about the same size. Now I'm going to come over here to Illustrator and I'm going to create the 3D text that's going to go behind the subjects. It's going to be the title. The title is Play with Fire. And I'm just going to pick one that looks kind of cool. Go to type, hit create outline. Make it a little bit bigger. And there it is, guys. It's 3D, but we want to change how it looks a little bit. So there's a few things that we need to do, and there's different ways to do this. I'm going to show you how I did this one in particular, and I don't always do it the same way. I just play with it and see how I think it'll look good for that particular project. You know what I mean? We want to add a texture on this, maybe some depth. I think I'm going to have this looking kind of like stone, because we're going to put this behind them and make it look like it's on fire. They're basically going to be like on stage, in darkness. There's going to be fire everywhere. There's going to be a crowd. It's going to be like a real high energy, cool cover, you know? So you see, we're going to tilt this a little bit, add some depth. You see, you play with that perspective. And guys, there's no set way to do this, you know? You just mess with the options, whatever works best, you know? It's like you'll get different results every time you do something. But yeah, you know, most of this album cover, it's done in Procreate. This part, of course, it's in Illustrator, and a small portion of it will be in Snapseed. But the majority of it's going to be in Procreate. I like using the combination of these three programs and apps to really create a really nice album cover. There's just certain features that one does that the other can't do, you know. And you'll see as we move forward. Like for instance, this 3D feature right here, I can only do that in Illustrator. So that's why I do that here. I like to create most of my titles in Illustrator. It gives it that look to where it doesn't look like it's just slapped up there, you know. And see, if you play with the materials, it makes it look totally different. And you can even go over there to the lighting and play with it, and it'll change how it looks. I think we're getting real close here with how it should be. If you look at that ball over there on the right, see how the shadows casted on it, and you can just move it around to play with how the light hits it. And it's like, I don't want too much light on it, but I don't want too much darkness on it either. I want to kind of have it in the middle, you know, where there's some shadow on it, but there's also some light on it, where I can see every little edge, so you know it's 3D. You know what I mean? And if you have to, just add more layers and move them around and mess with the settings on those. Sometimes that's best, sometimes it isn't. It just depends on the shape, I guess. I haven't found an exact formula on how to create these 3D texts like this, you know. I have found the more that I do it, the better I get at it. That's with anything though, right? As you can see, like, you don't want to get rid of the, see how it's turning real black. You don't want to get rid of all the light on the backside. And it's staying on one side, it's not staying on both. So you just want to move it around just a little bit so you can kind of see it. See, that's too much right there. Maybe we can take it back just a little bit. I spend a little bit of time on the 3D text too, because I think that's real important. That's one aspect with cover arts I notice a lot of people don't even do that much, you know? They usually just slap the text up there. They type it in. They don't create it. You know what I mean? So if you do this part, you'll really stand out. amongst everybody else. You know, there's some people that do this, but not a lot of them do. We're getting closer. It's almost there. I just want a good balance of light and shadows. Now I'm going to export that font as a PNG. I'm going to import it over to my iPad. I'm going to airdrop it, because Illustrator is a computer program, you know. So I just go to downloads, hit share, hit airdrop, and hit iPad. And it sends it right over to my iPad. And a PNG is a transparent file with no background. See, it has no background. Now I'm just going to move it in place. I'm going to go up here and go to Canvas, go to Edit, Symmetry. That's going to put a line in the middle. I'm going to change the color of it so I can see the line. And it's going to tell me where the middle of the canvas is, so I can move the title to the middle of the canvas. Make sure it's even, you know. It's really helpful. Kind of warp it a little bit. Yeah, I think I like the way that looks. Now I'm going to go and get all of these fire pictures that I saved from a website called Envanto. It's a good website with a lot of assets that you can use. You pay for a subscription. It's very helpful. So just cut out that. It's a crowd. But there's a lot of work I got to put in on erasing this crowd out, because there's other aspects to it. We're going to use that luminous brush to create like a mist. But like I said, I got to erase out a lot of stuff using that soft airbrush. It looks kind of crazy right now, but it'll come together. reposition it. Throw some of them flames in there. And sparks. And just play around with the settings. Now we're going to go to Snapseed. Snapseed is how I make it look better graphically. And again, play around with the settings on Snapseed. The drama, the details, the saturation, the contrast. These are all options that I like to use. Once I find the options, I like to clip mask it to certain ones, and then I'll mess with the opacity to each one, because I don't want it to just have the full-blown effect, you know, because it doesn't really do it exactly how you want it, you know what I mean? And I might have to put shadows here and there with the soft airbrush on a different layer, because it might screw it up in some places, but it might make it look good in other places. That's why you just want to make multiple layers, clip mask it on that certain object. Like you want your subjects to be on, your people to be on one layer, you know, the title to be on another layer, the crowd to be on another layer, the background to be on another layer, and then clip mask them individually with the Snapseed edited filtered look. Clip mask it on each one, and then take your flames. You see, I'm just taking the flames and seeing how they look best. I really don't know how they'll look best yet, because you know all the flames are different. I chose not to involve the flames with Snapseed, because they'll really just blow it out of proportion, you know what I mean, and make the flames look crazy probably. So I figured I'd just add that in after the fact, because I really just wanted their skin and that stone and the background to be altered, you know. So I'm just adding the flames and using the soft airbrush and playing around with it. And there's also a flame brush in Procreate. I'm kind of using that too. There's actually several of them. Some of them's working, some of them ain't. You know, I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it yet. I'm just trying things. You know, trying the liquidify, seeing if that works. And, you know, it didn't really work. It kind of did, I thought, but the important thing is, I think, is just to look at it and see if the flames are matching up, you know, and not to overdo it. Try to make it look like it's really on fire, you know. And as you can see, I'm going back and forth with this. Sometimes things don't work, you know, and that's okay. You see, I'm trying different options. Don't just go with the first thing that you think might work. little bit of black and kind of blurring it around the top. That way when I go to put my title, you can actually see or when I go to put the names of the artist, you can actually see it. It's good to put a little shadowing here and there, you know, so everything isn't so flat and kind of pops out at you. And this is the font that I always love to use for artists' names. And I'm going to use that fire brush just to put a couple more flames coming out through the letters. I think that'll look nice. Not too much. As you can see, there's this little white line right here. I'm going to try to alter that a little bit. There we go. Put my logo down there. Put the parental advisory. Guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Just drop a comment below, and I might make a video about it, you know what I mean, and answer your questions. There it is. That's how you create a cover art in Procreate on the iPad Pro. And guys, if you like this type of content, please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I release another video. I appreciate everybody watching.